Do you have old photographic prints where the colours have shifted with age? You'd like to be able to try and correct them? Well, in this video, we're going to look at how to do just that. Let's go. Hi, and welcome to episode 166 of Understanding Darktable. Just before I get into this, I want to say that over on my Patreon, I do a series called Bruce Edits. So if you want to see more content like this, where you actually see the way I approach processing images, have a look at tiers 3 and 4 because they are the tiers that get access to that series of videos. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, an uncle of mine passed away. And there's a bit of a story as to why this happened, but one of his sons, my cousin, ended up sending me a whole bunch of photographs. And some of these were of my mum, my dad, myself, and some of them I'd never even seen before. So it was fantastic to get access to all these old photos. And with some of them, the colours have shifted quite a lot. And I was processing them the other night and I thought, this might actually make a good video. So here we are. So this is the first one. This is not one that came from the post-funeral collection. This is actually an image that I shot of my dad back around 81 at a guess. So it's about a 45-year-old print. And as you can see, there's quite a strong red-yellow bias to this image and not a lot of blue information. And the approach that I'm going to use on this image is the same approach I'll use for the other two images because, in my opinion, it works pretty well. So for this, I am going to jump over to the RGB curve. And the first thing I'm going to do is change the mode from linked channels to independent channels. And I am not going to pay any attention or regard to the histogram that appears in the RGB curve module. But what I am going to do is go up to my histogram up here, and I am going to deactivate two of the channels. So now I'm just seeing the red information for this particular image. And what I want to do is stretch the left-hand side of that information out to the left edge of the histogram, and where it falls off on the right-hand side, I want to push that to the right-hand side of the histogram as best as I can. So we'll start with the shadows. We're just going to drag those across like so. The highlights can just come across a little bit. Now what I am seeing in the main histogram up here is that the majority of the red information is in the midtones and the highlights. And I really want to redistribute that red data to be fairly even across the width of the histogram. So what I want to do is take the brightest parts of the red information and drag that down. And that will start to push our data back across towards the shadow end of the range. So I'll leave it there for now. We might revisit it, we might not. Next, I move on to the green channel and I do the same thing up here. I just show the green channel. So now we want to pull the greens across to the shadow end and we're going to push the highlight end across a little bit. Again, there's just a little bit of a bias in the green data towards the midtones and the highlights. So I'm going to grab that and just pull that down a touch just to try and push our green data across towards the shadow end of the spectrum a little bit. Probably not that far, about there. That'll do it. And then we go to the blue channel and we turn the green channel off up here and we turn the blue channel on, and then we bring this across for our shadows and take this across for our highlights. And with this particular channel, we can actually see that there's a little bit of a hump in the mid-range, but there's quite a hump in the shadows. So we probably want to lighten the shadows a little bit. So I'd come right down here to the bottom end of the blue channel and just lift that ever so slightly, just to push a little bit more of the data across our histogram towards the midtones and the highlights. Now, is that perfect? No, it is not. Far from it. And to be honest, I don't think we're ever going to get perfect, because we're dealing with a 45-year-old photographic print. The chemicals have changed over time. The blue chemicals have clearly degraded faster than the red and the yellow chemicals. And I've probably got the blues a little bit too strong there. I'm just going to pull that back just a bit. But you know what? Compared with where we started, I think that's a pretty good result. You could spend a lot more time on this if you wanted to, but for a quick 2-minute technique, and honestly, I could do this faster if I wasn't explaining it as I went. I think it does a pretty good job, you know, of getting these old photographic prints that are really, you know, color shifted and faded back to something that's at least reasonable and looking moderately color balanced, where the white point looks white. You know, here, I think that wall was cream or a pale yellow in color. This is the house I grew up in. It's a long time ago, and that house no longer exists. Anyway, let's just move on to the next image, shall we? This is an image of yours truly at about 10 years of age, at a guess, taken in late afternoon light. So it was golden hour, hence the very strong orange cast over here. But, you know, if we looked at all of the channels, we can see that there's a lot of, you know, a lot of room for improvement here. So we will start with our red channel again. We will go to our RGB curve, go independent channels. We'll start with the red channel, and we're going to bring that across to there, that across to there. Could probably shift the data a little bit across towards the shadow end of the spectrum, and then maybe just bring that back a touch. Then we'll go to the greens, bring that across to there, push the shadows down again. Actually, sorry, we probably want to push those a little bit up into the mid-range. And then we'll do the blue channel, and we're going to bring that across to bring the highlight point up, bring our shadow point down. And in this instance, we've got a lot of blues in the shadows, so we're probably going to push those up a touch, like so. It's not perfect and probably never will be, but considering where we started and where we've ended up, I've maybe pushed it a little too far, because this has kind of lost that nice warm afternoon golden light. You can tell by the angle of the shadows that the sun was just about on the horizon. So maybe I should revisit this, something like that, probably about there. So again, not perfect, but way better than where we started. All right, third and final image. This is one of my mum, taken, I'm going to say mid to late 80s. You can tell by the hair, with a very strong magenta purplish cast to the whole scene. So let's take the same approach again. Independent channels. We'll just look at our red channel to begin with. Just going to bring the shadows down a little bit. In terms of distribution, that's actually really quite consistent across the width of the histogram. So I'm going to leave that where it is, jump over to our green channel, just bring the highlights up a touch, just bring you down ever so slightly. And again, we've got quite a lot of green in the shadow end of the histogram. So we're just going to push that up a little, like so. Then we'll go over to our blue channel and bring those highlights up, shadows down a bit. And again, we're going to push the blues a little more into the highlights. like so. And again, not perfect, but much better than where we started. All right, now you could obviously spend more time on this. You could introduce other tools like color balance RGB, and you could probably take them a little bit further. It will all depend on the quality of the print that you are working with and the age of that print, because obviously, as we know, over time, the chemicals that were used on the paper change. You know, they degrade, as we've seen. You know, the blues tend to degrade over time quite a lot. You know, your mileage is going to vary depending on the print. But that is my technique for correcting these types of images. I hope that's been useful, and I will just remind you once again, if you'd like to see my Bruce Edits series, tiers 3 and 4 on Patreon get access to those videos. So feel free to click on the Patreon link, which is down below, and check all that out. I'm off to Croatia along with Kath in about 10 days time. So this will be the last video that I get out before we go. We're back at the beginning of June, so I will hopefully get something out middle of June. All right, guys, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.